What's up guys, Ben here and welcome to Motivation to Invest. Breaking news, Tesla has not, I repeat not, been included into the latest S&P 500 reshuffle. So what does this mean for investors? Does this mean the stock is about to crash? Because many investors and even the entire investing community assumed that Tesla was going to be included into the S&P 500, and this was baked actually into the price of Tesla. Everybody assumed it's definitely going to get into the S&P 500. It's fulfilled the requirements. It's a massive company, one of the largest in the world. So it seemed very strange and a bit crazy that it wasn't actually included into the S&P 500. Is there something we don't know about Tesla, and that is the reason the S&P 500 didn't include it? And which companies have been included into the S&P 500 and why? In this video, I'm going to answer all these questions and more to find out what's happened with Tesla and the S&P 500 inclusion, because it seemed like it already won the race before it had started. But in a way, this could be a blessing in disguise, because it shows us and reminds us as investors to stay grounded. Nothing is certain. As the great investor Howard Marks says, there's only two types of forecasters: those that are wrong and those that don't know that they're wrong. So all these forecasters predicting S&P 500, Tesla's going to get included, it's a no-brainer. They've now all been proven wrong. That was one of the indications for many people that it was going to take some volatility out of the stock. So what actually happened? Well, at close of play on Friday, Tesla's shares tumbled by -7% as it was announced that it was not to be included into the S&P 500. The decision by S&P Dow Jones Indices is a blow to Tesla investors who widely expected the company to join the benchmark stock index after a blockbuster quarterly report which cleared a major hurdle for its potential inclusion. According to the S&P Dow Jones Indices senior analyst Howard Silverblatt, he declined to say why Tesla was not added to the S&P 500, which is tracked by index funds with at least $4.4 trillion in assets. Let's put how big Tesla is into perspective. So with a market capitalization of over $370 billion, Tesla is one of the most valuable companies on Wall Street. Tesla remains more valuable than 95% of the S&P 500's existing companies, including Johnson & Johnson and Procter & Gamble. Looking at this list here of the top holdings in the S&P 500, we could see that Tesla would sit just between Johnson & Johnson and Procter & Gamble. Also, just recently when Tesla was pushing a $450 billion market cap, that would leave Tesla just between Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's investment firm, and Walmart. So really, you've only got the tech giants which are higher than Tesla. So what are the requirements for a company to be included into the S&P 500? Because maybe all these analysts miss something. It turns out to be eligible for the S&P 500 index inclusion, a company must be a US company. Tesla ticks that box. Have a market capitalization of at least $8.2 billion. Tesla's is over $300 billion. Be highly liquid, Tesla is. Have a public float of at least 50% of its shares outstanding. I believe Tesla's is around 70%. And its most recent quarter's earnings and the sum of its trailing 4 consecutive quarters' earnings must be positive. In other words, the company must have been profitable in the past 4 quarters. Now, Tesla fulfills all these requirements, yet it still wasn't included into the S&P 500. What is the reason for this? What do you guys think the reason for this might be? Now, I personally have a theory. This is just my opinion. My personal opinion is that the S&P 500 team actually wants to see how Tesla's profitability will play out. It just barely meets the requirements to be included into the S&P 500 in terms of a profitability standpoint. They want to see, can Tesla continue its run of good performance in terms of profitability? Because at the end of the day, their job is to protect themselves. So if they included Tesla in and then it was suddenly unprofitable again, and let's say the stock crashed, That would make them look quite stupid because they may have to reshuffle the S&P 500 again and move Tesla out of it. And my theory is partially confirmed by some of the comments which Howard Silverblatt made. He said the market is continuously changing and we need to reflect that in our indices. He's talking about the crazy market conditions, the crazy times we live in. Tesla's only just recently become profitable. For them, it's maybe a little bit too risky right now to be included into the S&P 500. But that's just my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. So which companies were included into the S&P 500? Well, instead of Tesla, 3 companies were included. These were much smaller than Tesla, but maybe had a longer track record of profitability. The online craft seller Etsy, the semiconductor equipment maker Teradyne, and the pharmaceutical technology company Catalent. They were all included into the S&P 500. This will be effective from September the 21st. The companies which were relegated from the S&P 500 were H&R Block, Coty, and Kohl's. Shares of Etsy jumped 6% in extended trade, Teradyne rose 2%, and Catalent added 2% to its market value. The irony of all this is that Tesla is actually worth 9 times those 3 companies which were included combined. So maybe they actually wanted some more diversification into the S&P 500, because a big company like Tesla would cause a lot of weighting on the S&P 500. It already has over a quarter of its value in the large tech giants. When they move, the S&P 500 moves. And if Tesla was added, that would be a big weight. And when Tesla moved, the S&P 500 would probably move. Short sellers are betting $24 billion that Tesla shares will fall, among the largest short levels on record for a US company, according to S3 Partners. Now, Etsy is actually one of my favorite stocks and it has great performance on its financials. I actually did a video on Etsy over 3 months ago, so you can check that out on my channel. Now, it's an older video, guys, so it's not as clean and as smooth as my newer stuff, but the info is gold. And those of you guys which listened to that video back then and followed my lead in buying Etsy shares, you would have seen your stock up by nearly 200%. So what does Etsy actually do? Etsy is an e-commerce leader in vintage and handcraft items. Think of it as the Amazon in that niche. A lot of people make on there homemade candles, and even during the pandemic, there was a lot of people making hand sanitizers and masks, which boosted the company's profitability. Also, with everybody stuck at home, a lot of people wanted to improve their houses, so they were buying more decor and more handmade items from Etsy, and the creators on Etsy had more spare time to create more items. Overall, the company achieved a major boost from the pandemic. The question now is, will this continue into the future for Etsy? In the world of e-commerce, Amazon is the dominant leader, but Amazon is just not very personal, and that is where Etsy comes in, and you get these personalized, unique items which you cannot buy anywhere else. So I think their business model is strong and it will continue into the future. There's no limit to the creativity of human beings. So that's it for today's video, guys. What are the reasons you think Tesla was not included into the S&P 500? Let me know in the comments below and I'll join in the discussion. In addition, what do you think about the companies which were included, such as Etsy? And if you guys found some value from this video, feel free to give it a big thumbs up. That really helps out with the YouTube algorithm, which allows me to create more great content like this for you guys. In addition, if you want more investing tips and exclusive stock market picks, which I personally am investing into, such as Etsy, then you should definitely subscribe to this channel and turn that notification bell on. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Invest safe.